Climate displacement is the #1 single largest form of displacement around the world. The International Organization for Migration estimates that there are 1 billion migrants in the world today, and that within that, almost one person every 6 seconds is being displaced as a result of a climate-induced disaster.
Powershift Young and Rising is an iteration of powershifts that have happened in the past. We're a gathering of young people across the country to tackle the climate crisis. We realized that there was utility in having these national spaces for youth to organize on climate change and climate change related issues like migrant justice and things like that. And so we decided to throw together another Powershift event at this very critical point in history, months leading up to the federal election, towards a government that bought a $4.5 billion pipeline.
You know, I think it's an amazing convergence of young voices from across the country to bring all these young minds together who are doing work, amazing work in all of their communities, and bringing all those together and sharing ideas, tactics and strategies with each other. I think it just fosters a space where we can come up with new ideas, make connections, build solidarity, build a network, and build a much stronger movement overall.
A key part of understanding climate justice is understanding experience. And if you're trying to understand experience, you need the people that are experiencing climate change the most. And who are those people? Those people are marginalized people. Those are Indigenous people. Those people are Black people. Those people are South Asian people. Those people are Latino people. Those people are Caribbean people.
Well, on the first day, we started off with the traditional feasting because that's always the protocol. When you enter into a territory, you have to meet the people. For us, our main leaders are our elders. We can never do anything without our elders, so we made that effort to bring them all out, and they were all interested. They were all happy to see this coming, so we had an attendance of 9 elders that came together. We had a drum, because the drum represents like a way like how people come together when something's happening socially. So that kind of easily connects everybody, you know, when the drum starts, it makes everybody at ease.
We've had workshops all throughout the day running around campus, various workshops like nonviolent direct action training, things like electoral mobilizing, like how we can get youth to be involved in electoral politics in a radical way, and then other workshops like Indigenous food sovereignty.
So the art space, it's a space for Powershift participants to come in and work on different art projects related to the action on Monday. So we're producing banners, flags, different patches. We're making some puppets, like paper mache puppets. So everyone can come on by. We're doing screen printing, painting, some paper mache work. And also people are going to be able to take these home with them to their communities, and they can utilize them in actions in their own communities.
There's a lot of passion and desire to make change in people. A lot of people are taking a lot of steps in making that happen. Some people are at the beginning of that journey, but coming together, a lot of people are sharing what they've learned and working collectively on empowering that change. So I think I found, because of people's passion, commitment, and drive, it connects people in a special way, and everyone's sharing tools, and it forms a special community where people know they're on that journey together and they can feel capable of making that change.
It's about bringing all these different people that know what's going on, that can be able to offer what they can to educate these young minds.
I'm so honored to be able to be here today to talk about sort of the resurgence of Indigenous rights within the climate justice movement in a real way.
Imagine that instead of Trudeau giving $4 billion to oil and gas companies to devastate Indigenous lands without consent, that we actually had free education and guaranteed living wages for every single person.
We have our leaders signing deals with these industries because we have tried to fight for so long. When they've taken everything away, it becomes harder and harder to fight, and that's where it becomes the responsibility of all of us.
That I really appreciate that Powershift is making space for Indigenous perspectives. That, you know, the opening keynote was all Indigenous people speaking, that there's like a stream of Indigenous, you know, knowledge sharing, that there's like visibility of like that effort to include Indigenous perspectives in this work. I don't know how this movement could move forward without actually centering Indigenous voices.
When we think of capitalism in the context of exploitation of labor, of resource extraction, and of individualism, this is a direct attack on our land and our waters, which we consume what comes from the land, and we are made up of over 50% water. So when this is attacking our land, this is attacking us as humanity, as human beings.
And I just don't, think it's fair that in the West here, we can continue to exploit resources and contribute to all of this and kind of turn a blind eye to the way that climate change is affecting all these conflicts in the world, massive genocides and migrations and human migration and things, and we kind of just, it's not happening.
Not only are these struggles going to get tougher as climate change becomes an issue, but it becomes tougher when, capitalism and colonialism have ongoing projects that, exacerbate those issues.
We have to fight for our lands and fight for what we want, and the future generations depend on it, and we have to raise our voice and we have to work together as a team.
All my Indigenous people, I'm here to set all of us free. First we gotta learn to think, then we gotta learn to act. Then we gotta reconnect with the land as Mother Earth's contract. I'm representing for the tribe, representing for the youth. Arawak and Nakota, my bloodline is the proof. To make your visions come true, it takes imagination. Manifesting instead of dreaming is true creation. I'm representing where I'm from, Turtle Island is where I'm from. Giving all the his love, so love, so love.
In times of climate change, you're going to need a lot of different colors of people to come together to work together. Put some of the differences a little bit aside, but be able to focus on the fact that the climate, the changes of it needs to either slow down or stop.